was the Scots Macker. So it's easy to forget the huge stooshy there was when he decided to come out of the closet at the ripe old age of 70. So quite what people made of this poem that I'm going to read when it was published back in 1971, I can only imagine. It's called Christmas Eve. Loneliness of city Christmas Eves, with real stars up there, clear, and stars on poles and wires across the street, and streaming cars all dark with parcels, home to families and the lighted window trees. I sat down in the bus beside him, white jeans, black jerkin, slumped, with head nodding in sleep, face hidden by long black hair, hands tattooed on the 4 fingers, Aidan, 1967. And on the right hand, 5 Christian crosses. As the bus jerked, his hand fell on my knee, stayed there, lay heavily and alive, with blue carvings from another world, and seemed to hold me like a claw, unmoving. It moved. I rubbed my ear to steal a glance from him, found him stealing a glance at me. It was not the jerking of the bus, it was a proposition. He shook his hair back, and I saw his face for the first time, unshaven, hard man, a warning whether in Aidan or Glasgow, but our eyes held while that blue hand burned into my leg. Half drunk, half sleeping, but half what? Half what? As his hand stirred again, my arm covered it while the bus jolted round a corner. Don't get off till I get off. But the conductor was watching, came up and shook him, looked at me. My ticket was up. I had to leave him sprawled there with that hand that now seemed so defenceless, lying on the seat I had left. Half down the stair I looked back. The last thing I saw was Aidan and 5 blue crosses for 5 dead friends. It was only 15 minutes out of life, but I feel as if I was lifted by a whirlwind and thrown down on some desert rocks to die of dangers, as always far worse lost than run. I'm also going to read a tiny wee extract from a 1926 novel by John Henry Mackay called The Hustler. John Henry Mackay was born in Greenock, but he spent most of his life in Germany, and he was an early proponent of what used to be called homosexual emancipation, better known now as gay rights. In the novel's narrated by a young man who's infatuated with a 16-year-old rent boy called Günther. Those eyes, whose colour he was unable to name, appeared to him unfathomable. Were they grey? Were they blue? Were they both? Did not a green-gold gleam sometimes glimmer in the pupils of those eyes, with their strikingly long lashes and the light lines under them? The soft, smooth cheeks, did they show dimples when he smiled? The light brown hair was thick and uncombed over the narrow forehead. The full mouth with its no longer quite so red and fresh lips as before, the not quite regular but white rows of teeth. He saw the face before him again and recalled what had especially struck him. Often, usually when questioned, before answering, the upper right corner of the boy's mouth raised a bit with a light twitching so that a tooth became visible. This is 1926. So curious, but so attractive too. He saw the face before him and now knew that he had never in his life seen anything more charming and infatuating than the face of this boy named Gunter. Then he tried to visualise Gunter's figure. It was a boyishly slim, undeveloped and tender figure, which had nothing girlish about it, with a thin neck, slender shoulders, and extraordinarily beautiful hands with slim fingers. Finally, he recalled his walk, that light, careless, but tired walk, and he knew at once that he would have given his life's salvation to enclose that figure in his arms. Thank you.